The cost of having an emergency fund is pretty high. I don't know why we pretend that the cost of having an emergency fund doesn't really matter. Even assuming you have something like 2.5 lakhs in an emergency fund, pretty unnecessarily over a 30-year period, you are talking of, even at a 10% return, you're talking of 2.5 lakhs would mean about 40-45 lakhs of value at the end of 30 years. Is that a small amount? Think of it that way. I just think the emergency fund is overrated for 99% of the people watching this video, or maybe 90% of the people watching this video. There are CEOs and CIOs who talk about why you should have an emergency fund. It does not apply to them, right? It does not apply to you. What is the probability of you losing your job? That is pretty high, maybe if you're in your 30s or 40s, and if you're living paycheck to paycheck. But let us say you're a 45-year-old or a 43-year-old CEO of a mutual fund or an insurance company or a bank, anything, and do you really need such a huge emergency fund which you think you have? I know we have gone through a bad year in 2020, but remember, lot of your investments in various places are liquid. Your mutual funds are liquid, your debt fund is liquid, your equity fund is liquid. So yesterday I was talking to a very senior retired person, and the amount of emergency money that she has stacked away, almost 40 lakhs, 30-40 lakhs in emergency fund. I think it's absolute insanity that you should have so much money sleeping in a bank account, savings bank account. Why should it, right? Can't it lie in a short-term bond fund or even a long-term bond fund, considering that you may never touch it, right? What happens, what is the probability for a senior citizen to require so much money? It is just does not exist, right? The chances of losing a job is high. What are the chances of some appliance in your house failing, or of your AC failing, or your fridge failing? I think the quality has ensured that these kind of things do not happen. Yes, your car could have a breakdown, but you also have a credit card on which you can charge all that and pay after 45 days. So you have to have the liquidity only over 45 days, not over 4.5 minutes, right? You do not need so much of emergency money and so much of emergency cash. Just think of the opportunity cost of keeping that money in the markets, even at 10%, vis-a-vis keeping in a savings bank account earning 2%. Believe me, it is 2% in banks like State Bank of India. They have dramatically reduced the interest on even your savings bank account. And on that you will pay income tax also. So what is the return that you're getting? Whereas if you kept it in a long-term bond fund, some money in short-term bond fund and some money in liquid fund, rest assured you will get better returns, simply because you will not withdraw it over maybe 30 years. So if you do not remove your money from let's say a liquid fund over 30 years, and you actually effectively got 4-5% return, you're getting 4-5% return at 10% tax after 30 years instead of paying tax now. Instead of paying tax in 2020, you pay tax in 2050, right? So you have deferred your tax also. So don't get scared so much. People overrate the need for emergency fund, and I'm saying this in 2020, when many people have used a part of their emergency fund. If you are not living on a day-to-day basis from paycheck to paycheck, you don't need to put so much emphasis on a emergency fund. I don't have an emergency fund. I anyway keep money in savings bank account looking for opportunities in the market. That's a different thing. That is not an emergency fund. Don't believe that you need an emergency fund if you are not going to make any use of the fluctuations in the equity market. If you are a typical salaried person doing an SIP and not really looking at opportunities to buy and sell in the market directly because of the fall, or selling because of a rise, then you don't need so much of emergency cash. Why is your money sleeping in the savings bank account, right? And what is the opportunity cost of that money? The opportunity cost is a word which we all hear, which we all know, but we don't understand the application. We do not apply it at all. So let me one more economist worth quoting is Daniel Kahneman. Kahneman. when he writes in his Thinking Fast, people are willing to pay far more for insurance than the expected value. That is how insurance companies cover their costs and make their profits. I also see people keeping term insurance for themselves beyond the age of 55. Term insurance is to replace your earned income. I have earned income, but I have enough money created in wealth for my family that they don't need me financially, right? They may need me emotionally, but they don't need me financially. Do I need to have term insurance? No, it makes no sense. For me, term insurance was history. By the time I was 39, 40, I could retire. So after that, I did not require term insurance. Similarly, if you're 55 years of age and you have your children very close to settlement or settled down already, you may not need that. Suppose you have created enough retirement corpus for the two of you. You don't need it, because if you were to drop dead, your wife could still manage and live on that, because you've already done that, right? You may still be working, you may still be earning, but you do not need term insurance. Again, the excessive payment which we are willing to make for fear, right? You're afraid that things will go wrong, therefore an emergency fund. You're afraid that you will die. That's not the way to look at it. The question is, does your family need that money if you died tonight? For most 29-year-olds, the answer would be yes. For most 54-year-olds, the answer would be no. So the 29-year-old should of course have term insurance, but it doesn't mean the 55-year-old or a 54-year-old should have term insurance. In fact, the 54-year-old should now be thinking in terms of annuity, because the other risk is of living too long. That risk we discount. We keep saying, oh, I will die at 70, as though we've got that written down by God and given to us, right? Many of the people watching this video will cross the age of 100. So for you, the risk is there. So many of us either don't understand risk, or we are willing to pay too high a price for the risk which we think we have. What if the odds were given to you every day? Do you need insurance? You may think very differently, but otherwise when you're paying the premium, you want everything covered. You want your toenail covered, you want your fingernail covered, you want your hair covered. You don't need so much of cover. You don't need so much of cash sleeping in your bank account. You have to think that instead of 2.5 lakhs sleeping in my bank account, if it were in the markets and earning even at 10%, I'll have 40 lakhs at the end of that period, or maybe 50 lakhs at the end of the period if you take taxation into account. That is not a small amount. Do you want to lose 50 lakhs by keeping 2.5 lakhs excess in the emergency fund? And I'm talking of just 2.5 lakhs. If I increase that to 5 lakhs, then you're talking of a figure in excess of 1 crore. I don't think we see the impact of it that way. We keep saying it's okay, I have 6 lakhs lying in a bank account which I have not closed. So I find people who have got maybe 1 crore, 1.5 crores lying in all the bank accounts. Father, mother, son, HUF, all that they've created. There is at least 1 crore of rupees lying for a family whose expenses are about 5 lakhs a year. So 5 lakhs a year means next 20-year expenses are sleeping in the bank account. And the opportunity cost of doing this, which they are missing out, could be upwards of 10 crores. Is that what you intend, right? So don't overpay for fear. Remember, in 2020, if you bought insurance, you must have definitely overbought it, whether it is medical insurance or term insurance. But think with a cool mind, do you need it? If you need it, then look at price. Don't look at price and say, oh, it's so cheap, let me buy. It makes no sense. Discount your fears. You don't have an appliance breakdown, you don't have any of those things ever happening, so don't worry. And even if there is an appliance breakdown, you can buy a new appliance using your credit card and then pay after 45 days. You don't need, except for a medical emergency, which is also taken care of if you have cashless medical insurance. Don't bother too much about keeping too much cash. Be sensible. I'm not saying don't keep, I'm saying be sensible. As a youngster living on one income, you need it. As an older person having created a lot of wealth in different asset classes, you don't need so much. Don't be so afraid in this year of 2020. Thank you.